In a striking display of self-aggrandizement, President Donald Trump has likened himself to royalty in a recent post on his social media platform Truth Social. This proclamation came as he celebrated his administration's successful move to dismantle New York City's controversial congestion pricing program, an initiative he had pledged to abolish during his election campaign. Congestion pricing is dead. Manhattan and all of New York is saved, Trump declared, punctuating his triumph with the phrase "Long live the King." This bold declaration echoes the extravagant tendencies of Trump's presidency, characterized by grandiose imagery and a penchant for royal symbolism, including military parades and lavish inaugural celebrations. The White House quickly amplified Trump's message, circulating an illustration on social media depicting him adorned with a crown on a Time magazine cover. However, beneath the flamboyant rhetoric lies a concerning trend of expansive interpretations of presidential power. Trump's actions have raised alarms about his willingness to operate outside the bounds of established legal norms, as he has issued executive orders that many argue exceed his constitutional authority. In a recent social media post, he suggested that his actions are justified if they serve to save the country, echoing a distorted interpretation of the unitary executive theory which posits broad presidential powers. Trump's administration wasted no time in implementing his vision. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy articulated the administration's opposition to the congestion pricing scheme in a letter to New York Governor Kathy Hochul, claiming it imposed undue financial burdens on working-class Americans. "I share the president's concerns about the impacts to working-class Americans who now have an additional financial burden to account for in their daily lives," Duffy stated, reinforcing Trump's narrative of a president acting in the best interests of the people. However, this unilateral approach has provoked significant backlash. Governor Hochul responded, firmly emphasizing the importance of upholding the rule of law. "We are a nation of laws, not ruled by a king," she asserted, noting that the Metropolitan Transportation Authority has initiated legal actions to preserve the congestion pricing program. The confrontation between Trump and Hochul underscores a deeper ideological rift regarding the appropriate limits of executive power and the role of state governance. As Trump continues to assert his authority in ways reminiscent of monarchical rule, the legal ramifications of his actions loom large. An extensive array of lawsuits has been filed to challenge many of his executive decisions, reflecting a growing resistance to his administration's tactics. Critics are concerned that Trump's self-styled kingship represents a fundamental challenge to democratic norms and governance. Looking forward, it is clear that the political landscape will remain tumultuous as Trump embarks on this new chapter of his presidency. His willingness to reshape the government to reflect his vision raises pressing questions about the future of U.S. politics and the resilience of democratic institutions. As his administration continues to provoke legal challenges and fierce opposition, the implications of Trump's actions will resonate far beyond New York City, potentially redefining the boundaries of executive power in the United States for years to come. In a rapidly evolving world where technology intersects with personal relationships in healthcare, recent discussions have unveiled significant societal shifts. From the emotional complexities of familial ties to the staggering economic impacts of new medical treatments, the narratives emerging from these events illustrate a society grappling with its past while looking to the future. An intriguing perspective on family dynamics surfaced in a recent column by Carolyn Hacks, where she highlights the struggle of a sister advocating for her brothers to forgive their absentee father. This situation resonates with many as it encapsulates the challenges of reconciling with the past. Hacks notes, forgiveness is often a personal journey, but it can be complicated by the experiences of family members who carry their own wounds. The conversation around this topic emphasizes the importance of communication and understanding within families, particularly when past grievances hinder personal growth and relationship building. Meanwhile, a different kind of transformation is occurring in the medical landscape, primarily driven by the rising popularity of weight loss drugs. As reported, these medications are not only reshaping physical health outcomes but are also influencing broader economic trends. According to industry analysts, the weight loss drug market is projected to exceed $100 billion by the end of the decade, fundamentally altering sectors from pharmaceuticals to healthcare insurance. These drugs are shifting the economic landscape in ways we never anticipated, said health economist Dr. Lila Chen. The implications of this shift could lead to a re-evaluation of healthcare policies and practices, particularly as more individuals seek these treatments to combat obesity-related issues. On the geopolitical front, the United States is reportedly urging Ukraine to replace a UN resolution that condemns Russia. This development points to a nuanced strategy in international relations, where diplomatic maneuvers can significantly impact global perceptions and alliances. Analysts suggest that this push reflects a desire to foster a more constructive dialogue in the region, though it raises questions about the effectiveness of such strategies in the face of ongoing conflict. In an age where technology plays a pivotal role in mental health care, a recent guest column explored the ethical implications of using therapy chatbots. The author, a healthcare professional, questioned the adequacy of such tools in delivering mental health support. While chatbots can provide immediate assistance, they lack the human touch that is often crucial for effective therapy, the author stated. This commentary opens up discussions about the future of technology in mental health, emphasizing the need for balance between innovation and traditional methods of care. As these narratives unfold, they remind us of the complexity of human relationships, the ramifications of technological advancements, and the continuous evolution of societal structures. Looking ahead, it is clear that the intersections of personal, economic, and geopolitical developments will play a crucial role in shaping our society. The potential for change looms large, and it raises important questions about how we navigate these transformations in a way that fosters understanding, health, and progress. In a world marked by geopolitical tensions and energy crises, recent developments in U.S. foreign policy and renewable energy have captured significant attention. A notable shift involves the United States' evolving relationship with Russia, as President Trump has pivoted toward Moscow, indicating a desire for closer ties. This strategic alteration comes amidst ongoing conflicts, particularly in Ukraine, where European leaders are drafting a peacekeeping plan that incorporates U.S. military forces as a supporting element. On February 23, 2025, The Wall Street Journal reported that President Trump's approach to Russia signals a transformative phase in American diplomacy. Analysts suggest that this pivot could reshape alliances and alter the power dynamics in Eastern Europe. A cooperative relationship with Russia could potentially stabilize the region, but also raises concerns about undermining NATO, observed Dr. Elena Smirnova, a geopolitical expert. This shift not only reflects Trump's administration's priorities but also responds to the evolving landscape of international relations, particularly in light of Russia's long-standing involvement in Ukraine. As the U.S. considers its role in the Ukraine crisis, European leaders are proactively seeking solutions. A comprehensive peacekeeping plan is reportedly in the works, which includes the deployment of U.S. forces as a backstop to bolster European efforts. This initiative underscores a commitment to collective security and the stabilization of Ukraine, a country that has faced significant military aggression. Our goal is to ensure that Ukraine has the necessary support to maintain its sovereignty and territorial integrity, stated a senior European diplomat involved in the discussions. The collaboration among European nations and the United States is indicative of a united front against external threats, though it raises questions about the long-term implications for U.S. military involvement abroad. In contrast to the diplomatic maneuvers on the international stage, the domestic landscape within the U.S. has been marked by challenges in the renewable energy sector. Trump's administration has faced criticism for policies perceived to hinder the growth of wind power, a clean energy source that has gained traction over the past decade. On February 23, 2025, The Wall Street Journal reported that the wind power industry is experiencing significant setbacks under the current administration's regulatory framework. Industry leaders have expressed frustration, emphasizing that the uncertainty surrounding federal support is paralyzing investment and innovation. We need a consistent and supportive policy environment to compete effectively and meet our clean energy goals, lamented a spokesperson from the American Wind Energy Association. This intertwining of international diplomacy and domestic energy policies poses complex challenges for the United States as it navigates its role on the global stage while addressing pressing environmental concerns. The strategic pivot toward Russia could present opportunities for energy collaboration, particularly as both countries grapple with the transition to renewable sources. However, the success of such partnerships will depend on maintaining a delicate balance between national interests and global responsibilities. Looking ahead, the implications of these developments are profound. The trajectory of U.S.-Russia relations could redefine geopolitical alliances, while the fate of the American renewable energy sector remains uncertain, contingent on both domestic policies and international cooperation. As the world watches these unfolding events, the interplay between diplomacy and energy will undoubtedly shape the future landscape of global politics and environmental sustainability. In the ongoing geopolitical landscape, the United States is attempting to solidify its economic and strategic ties with Ukraine, particularly in the wake of the prolonged conflict with Russia. As part of this effort, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has been advocating for a controversial minerals deal that aims to facilitate Ukraine's post-war growth by leveraging its natural resources. This initiative, however, is facing considerable resistance from Ukrainian officials, who express concerns over the terms and implications of the proposed agreement. Bessent recently traveled to Ukraine to present the U.S. proposal to President Volodymyr Zelensky, emphasizing that the revenue generated from the extraction of Ukraine's critical minerals would be used to establish a reconstruction fund. In an op-ed for the Financial Times, Bessent outlined that this fund would allow the U.S. to maintain a significant financial interest in Ukraine's long-term development. He insisted that the deal would not involve coercive economic pressure, stating the United States would not be taking ownership of physical assets in Ukraine, nor would it be saddling Ukraine with more debt. However, the specifics of the agreement have raised alarms in Kyiv. A draft proposal indicated that Ukraine would be expected to contribute 50% of its mineral resources revenues, up to $500 billion, into the fund, a term Ukrainian officials have deemed unacceptable. Zelensky voiced his concerns, asserting that he cannot agree to terms that would impose a financial burden on future generations of Ukrainians. "I'm not going to sign something that 10 generations of Ukrainians will be paying for," he stated. The situation is further complicated by the U.S. administration's broader diplomatic maneuvers aimed at securing a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. The Trump administration has faced criticism for its approach, especially in light of disparaging remarks made by Trump regarding Zelensky, which some Ukrainian officials interpret as an attempt to coerce compliance with U.S. demands. This has led to a palpable tension between the desire for U.S. support and the need for Ukraine to retain sovereignty over its resources and strategic decisions. In addition to the minerals deal, Zelensky has also made headlines by offering to step down as president if it would secure NATO membership or lasting peace for Ukraine. This unprecedented statement underscores the immense pressure on the Ukrainian leader as he navigates a complex and often hostile international environment. Zelensky articulated a sense of urgency, emphasizing that his focus is on security today, not on a distant future. As negotiations continue, Ukrainian officials are adamant that any agreement must include robust security guarantees, particularly in light of ongoing Russian aggression. The recent escalation in military action, including a significant drone strike by Russia, further highlights the precarious situation. The unfolding events in Ukraine and the U.S.'s attempt to broker a minerals deal could have long-lasting implications not only for bilateral relations but also for the broader geopolitical landscape in Europe. As volatility persists, all eyes are on Ukraine's leadership and the U.S. administration to see whether a mutually beneficial agreement can be reached that addresses both the economic needs of Ukraine and the strategic interests of the United States. Looking ahead, the outcome of these negotiations may significantly influence the post-war reconstruction of Ukraine and the potential for lasting peace in the region. The delicate balance of power, economic interests, and national sovereignty will likely shape the narrative as the world watches closely. Martin Parr, a name synonymous with contemporary photography, continues to push the boundaries of visual storytelling at the age of 72. In a recent interview, Parr, known for his vibrant and humorous depictions of British life, shared insights into his artistic journey, the therapeutic nature of photography, and his ongoing projects, including the Martin Parr Foundation, which serves as a testament to his commitment to documentary photography. Parr's career has spanned more than 4 decades, during which he has amassed an extensive portfolio that has significantly shaped the landscape of modern photography. His iconic series, The Last Resort, which captures the essence of life at a seaside resort in New Brighton, has become a touchstone of his work. It's still the work I'm most famous for. We keep republishing. It keeps selling, he reflects. The series, initially controversial for its perceived condescension, showcases Parr's ability to blend humor with a critical lens, inviting viewers to look deeper into the realities of everyday life. The artist's fascination with photography began at a young age. I knew I would be a photographer from the age of 13 or 14, and I knew what was good even then, he recalls. This conviction has propelled him to create over 145 photography books and exhibit his work in more than 80 shows worldwide. His style, characterized by bright colors and close-up compositions, aims to transform the mundane into something extraordinary. Life is funny. I try to bring that into the images, he explains, emphasizing the importance of humor in his work. Parr's current focus is on the Martin Parr Foundation, established in 2017 in Bristol, which not only houses his extensive archive but also supports emerging photographers. The foundation aims to preserve and promote documentary photography, showcasing the rich tapestry of life in the British Isles. Hopefully it will be of some benefit, he notes, conscious of his legacy as he navigates his recovery from cancer. The foundation is a pivotal part of his life's work, fostering a community of photographers and providing resources for the next generation. His approach to photography is deeply personal, often reflecting his relationship with the subjects he captures. Parr's candid interactions with people on the streets form the backbone of his projects. He engages with his subjects in a way that reveals their dignity and context, often asking them not to smile, which challenges conventional portraiture. A bit of flattery is a very good attrait, he says, illustrating his personable approach to capturing the essence of his subjects. Despite his acclaim, Parr acknowledges the mixed reception of his work. He recalls the backlash against The Last Resort when it was first exhibited in London, highlighting a disconnect between audiences from different regions. They're blaming me for seeing shabby conditions, he reflects, noting how perceptions of his work can vary dramatically based on cultural context. As he contemplates his future projects, Parr remains driven by an insatiable curiosity. I'm either thinking about things I haven't shot or things I've done. What's got to be done? What can I do next? His upcoming endeavors include a variety of photography-related activities, from community events to personal projects that explore the themes of tourism and consumerism, which he sees as integral to understanding contemporary British culture. Parr's ongoing engagement with photography serves not only as a creative outlet but also as a form of therapy. It's defined my life, he states, underscoring the profound impact of his art on his personal well-being. As he continues to explore new avenues and capture the essence of life through his lens, Martin Parr remains a vital figure in the world of photography, with a legacy that promises to inspire future generations. The Martin Parr Foundation stands as a beacon of his commitment to the art form, ensuring that the stories of everyday life continue to be told. In the coming years, as Parr navigates his personal and professional landscape, his contributions to photography will undoubtedly evolve. With a keen eye for the absurdities and beauties of life, he is poised to leave an indelible mark on the art world, reminding us all of the power of observation and the importance of humor in our shared human experience. In a striking display of self-importance, President Donald Trump recently likened himself to royalty in a post on his social media platform Truth Social. Following the announcement of his administration's decision to abolish New York City's congestion pricing program, Trump proclaimed, "Long live the king." This statement echoes his long-standing penchant for grandeur, a theme that has become a hallmark of his leadership style, characterized by ostentatious displays of power and authority. The context of Trump's declaration lies in his administration's move to eliminate a program that levies a toll on drivers entering Manhattan below 60th Street. The initiative, aimed at reducing traffic congestion and funding public transportation improvements, has been a point of contention for Trump, who has labeled it destructive. In a recent interview, he asserted that if he were to take office, he would use the Department of Transportation to terminate the program, stating, "If I decide to do it, I will be able to kill it off in Washington." Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy acted swiftly to fulfill Trump's wishes, communicating with New York Governor Kathy Hochul to outline the administration's objections and discuss the cessation of toll operations. Duffy emphasized the financial burden this program places on working-class Americans, a sentiment that resonates with Trump's populist rhetoric. Trump's grandiosity is further reflected in his broader interpretation of presidential power. Historically, he has issued numerous executive orders and taken actions that some argue exceed legal bounds. His remarks, such as "He who saves his country does not violate any law," suggest an audacious belief in his authority to act unilaterally for what he perceives to be the nation's benefit. This perspective is rooted in the controversial unitary executive theory, which posits that the president has the power to disregard laws deemed unconstitutional, while Trump's followers may view these actions as necessary and bold. Critics are increasingly alarmed by his apparent disregard for established legal and ethical standards. The backlash has been swift, with lawsuits mounting against several of his executive actions. Governor Hochul has explicitly challenged Trump's self-comparison to a monarch, stating, "We are a nation of laws, not ruled by a king." The New York Metropolitan Transportation Authority has initiated legal proceedings to protect the congestion pricing program, underscoring the contentious atmosphere surrounding Trump's latest gambit. The implications of this incident extend beyond New York's streets. Trump's actions and statements signal a potential shift in how executive power is conceptualized in the United States. As the legal battles unfold and public response continues to evolve, the consequences of Trump's self-styled kingship could redefine the scope of executive authority and the balance of power between state and federal governments. Looking ahead, the political landscape remains charged. With Trump's administration making bold claims and taking decisive actions, the ensuing legal challenges and public discourse will likely shape the narrative of his presidency. As the 2024 election cycle approaches, the ramifications of his royal proclamations may become a focal point for both supporters and detractors, further entrenching the polarized state of American politics.